Since the launch of the A500 Mini, I've really rekindled my relationship with the Amiga home computer, and at length I've covered upcoming Amiga games that you have to play. In fact, some of them are already out actually, so maybe cheating a little bit here. In today's episode, we're going to cover more Amiga games that are coming out for the platform, and I'm excited about these. So guys, let's take a look. Electric Black Sheep have done it again. And this time they're bringing all of us, oh wait a second, this is actually none of us, onto the Amiga home computer scene. Now this is pretty darn cool, but it's a bit of a weird one, because if you head over to Electric Black Sheep's website, which I will link in the description, they describe this as not a game in progress. That's right, not a game in progress. So what actually is it? I'll utilise a quote here from Electric Black Sheep. "This is not a game in progress, just a mini-game for testing visuals and gameplay amongst other things. The essence of the test is to obscure the opponents from players' viewpoint with light/shadow. Okay, we see that in modern platforms, but not under Amiga Amos Pro." Now call me crazy here, but this to me feels like a game. It runs pretty well. There's no note on the website as to how long this so-called game in progress / not game in progress is. In fact, the lingo would suggest that it is a game after all. It does suggest that you can download the game. So I'm a little bit confused. But confusion aside, I think this seems like an incredibly ambitious project, and the Among Us theme song is also utilised in this, which is a bit of a remix with no copyright. So I think that Electric Black Sheep really have gone all out to add a little bit of finesse to this experience, and for the Among Us fans out there, take note, because the Amiga is taking over. Stardust Wars is another Electric Black Sheep title, but I have to confess here, I'm cheating massively. And that's because this isn't an upcoming game in 2022. Oh no, I'm featuring it purely out of its just amazing visuals. It was actually released back in 2018, but I've only just found out about it. In fact, Electric Black Sheep does have an entire wealth of really good software for the Amiga, so go and check out this game as well as other Electric Black Sheep's sheep software in the description. Personally, I think that this looks great, and if you're a Star Wars fan, it's a no-brainer.
Turning around. Five, four, three, two, one. Good picture of Steve.
Okay, we checked all 4 systems, and there you go on modulation, all 4, and keying was a go.
fuck.
This is Project Horizon by Electric Black Sheep again, and let's just take a moment to discuss how amazing that high-res introduction was for this upcoming title. Project Horizon is still in development, but you can download this now. What is it? Well, I'll quote from their website, link below. Project Horizon is an 8-way scrolling top-down shooter sci-fi game for the Commodore Amiga. The player is a NASA astronaut on the moon in 1977, an alternative timeline, who found himself in a war situation. The graphics for me really make it. I'm a sucker for pixel art. If you remember, I covered Project Quest, I think it was the second episode in a previous episode, and you can see the resemblance in the graphics amazingly. I'm excited for this, guys, and you've got to check it out yourselves. Cast your mind back to the late 90s, early 2000s with the Nokia range 8210, 8310. Within those devices there was a game called Snake in which you had to collect the little polygons on screen. The snake became bigger whilst just basically not getting in a tangle. It was a great game. And I couldn't help but go back to that place when I saw that Snaky for the Commodore Amiga was coming out. Now this is nothing like Snake on the Nokia 8210s and such like. In fact, I'd say that this is more like Pac-Man, whereby you have to collect all of the items and avoid the enemies. What's cool about this game is its versatility. You can see the level change here to the drop zone. Again, you've got to fall and use your agility to collect the objects in the sky. I mean, it really does pack a little punch. There's other modes as well. You can morph into a ball, which we'll see later in this episode. You can do quite a few things with Snakey, and I'm excited for it. I think it looks really nice, and the parallax scrolling effect in the background is pretty tasty too. If you'd like to play Snaky yourself, you can do so by downloading it for $4.99. I will link 3 sources in the description. In fact, anybody's gameplay that I use today, I would suggest you go and subscribe to them as well. Everybody will be linked in the description. But this just, it's got me. I'm happy about this. I'm going to let the rest of this one play out, and I want you guys to let me know if this is the kind of game that you'd dive into on your gorgeous Amigas. Hyperblaster is up next, and the left to right shoot 'em up genre on the Amiga tends to be a very popular one, and it's easy to get it wrong, but it's easy to get it right. And looking at this gameplay from the developer directly, it looks absolutely bloody brilliant. Now unfortunately this game demo has no sound. This game is in development, and the only source I could find for it is the one that I've linked in the description. So if you go ahead and subscribe to the dev's channel, you'll see additional videos on there and hopefully some future updates for this one. But what I want to know from you is, what is your favourite, whether it's vertical or left or right shoot 'em up, that you have ever played? Let me know in the comments, guys, and let's get to the next one. Now, I am a sucker for a gorgeous edit, the kind of post-production that really makes your mouth water. Just look at the trailer to Aqua Abyss. How gorgeous does this look? I mean, who doesn't love comic books anyway? But I think the developers here, they've gone all out. A little bit like Project Horizon with the high-res introduction that we saw, that just adds that cinematic vibe to the games that they are working on, these passion projects. I think this is great, and that's why I really wanted to feature this introduction before we dive into the gameplay.
Underwater city, called by your new friend, Paris. The captain and you got off the vessel, and are now standing on dry land under an enormous dome. And here begins your adventure, dear player.
So what exactly is Aqua Abyss? I'm going to pull from the dev's website, again linked in the description, with this really nice quote. In Aqua Abyss, you may continue the protagonist's adventures from the graphic novel or choose your own path and navigate the open, vast underwater depths. Naturally, in both modes, you may trade, explore and discover new cities, upgrade your submarine, acquire new ones, develop your character, have dialogues with NPCs, complete quests, mine resources from the ocean floor, face or avoid the dangers of the lurking depths, compare your achievement with other players, or finally meet them online in the chat. This is just a foretaste of what awaits you in the underwater world of Aqua Abyss. I've covered well over 30 games now in upcoming games or games that have just been released for the Amiga within the last couple of years, and it's incredibly exciting, and not just for you as the gamer and me as the nostalgic gamer, but also for the indie devs. I've been reached out to by so many of you indie devs in which I've covered games, for example the creators and the developers behind Devil's Temple, which is a great game that I covered in a previous episode that I will link in the cards, and they're actually sending me a copy for further review, so it's really cool that we can use this platform to promote the indie games in the Amiga community. So if you've heard of any Amiga games that you want me to cover, maybe they're upcoming, maybe they've been out a couple of years and you think that, we could kind of give them a nudge on this platform, please let me know in the comment section below, and let's share the word for these indie developers and share this episode. If you wouldn't mind, whack it on your Facebook, whack it on your Twitter. Let's get the word out there for this amazing Amiga community. Thank you so much for watching. I'll leave it there, guys. We've got over 40 episode pack full of Amiga goodness in the playlist, which I will link in the description. Thanks for watching. My name is Gemma, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.